Hi, welcome, namaste. My name is Ali, and in this little yoga experience, I'm going to guide you through some restorative yoga for the new moon, the dark moon phase, but know that you can practice this yoga sequence at any time. In today's practice, we'll go into a longer restorative inversion towards the end of the practice. So if you have them, the props that I'm going to invite you to grab are 2 blocks, a bolster. This is a yoga strap, but you could use a scarf or something else. You can also use some pillows piled up on each other if you don't have blocks and a bolster. This is an eye covering, which is optional. You could use a scarf, or you might have, this is a little beanbag one with lavender in it. And I have a blanket, which I will either use to warm my body, to put over top of my body for warmth, or just fold it up for a little pillow behind my head. So you might like to bring a blanket and a pillow. And you might just pause this video momentarily to grab what you need. And then from there, we will find a comfortable seated position. And you might actually like to sit up on top of a pillow, blanket, or bolster if you're not comfortable sitting right down on the earth. And we'll start with a quick moment of centering together. So finding a comfortable seated position, and then bringing the hands to rest face down on the lap, closing down through the eyes, and taking 2 sips of air in through the nose. And then releasing slowly through an open mouth. And we'll do that 4 more times. Inhaling for 2. Filling the lungs completely and releasing slowly. And again. Two more times. This time, as you release your breath, let your breath come back to that natural, peaceful rhythm in and out. And begin to invite the mind to relax from thinking and planning. And just simply noticing the rhythm of your breath, this peaceful rhythm in and out. You might notice sounds, and you might invite a softening on the exhalation of the jaw, of the tongue, and the whole face. Present here with your body and your breath. Allowing the mind to come to stillness. And you might imagine the mind emptying out, just like the exhale, the lungs emptying out. And you might invite the energy of the new moon and that place of becoming emptied out from full moon to dark moon. Just sort of emptying out like an empty vessel. Notice how the emptying of your lungs on the exhale is effortless. You might embrace or welcome a sense of settling down, momentum subsiding, and that emptying out or emptiness. Imagining yourself like an empty container. And then the next time that you inhale, gently begin to shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. And then exhale to roll the shoulders back down and away from the ears. And we'll do that a couple of times. Inhaling, shoulders rise up. Exhaling, shoulders release back down. And the next time that your shoulders rise up, exhale to roll the shoulders back down and away. Let your gaze be soft if you've opened up the eyes. And then taking the left hand and just gently bringing it behind the back of the body to a comfortable position. The forearm just gently resting on the small of the back. And then from here, drawing chin down towards the chest. And then slowly letting your right ear roll towards the right shoulder with the left arm behind the back. And breathing into any gentle stretch that you find here. You might need to release the stretch a little bit, and that's okay. And the option is there to slowly draw little tiny circles with the tip of the nose round and round, if it feels good. Taking some deep breaths through the nose here. You might even breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Reversing direction if you're drawing those little circles. And taking one more deep breath here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Letting the chin draw down towards the chest and releasing the arm back onto the lap. And then taking the right hand behind the back, bending the elbow and letting the forearm rest gently across the small of the back. And then when you're ready, left ear draws over to left shoulder. Deep breaths here, in and out through the nostrils. Slow meditative movements. You might start to circle the nose. And you might continue to imagine you're cultivating this sense of being the empty vessel. A sense of pure presence tuned into sensation, sensations of the body, peaceful rhythm of the breath, reversing the circles. Next, inhalation. Exhale to let the chin draw back down towards the chest, releasing the arm from behind the back. And then inhaling to shrug both shoulders up towards the ears again. Exhaling to roll the shoulders down and away. And then this time as you inhale, let your chest circle forward. And then exhale to circle back and around, beginning to make some circles with the ribs, the chest, the spine, round and round. Following your breath here, your rhythm of breath, inhaling forward, exhaling back and around. Good, and if you'd like to switch the cross of your legs or move the position of your legs, please listen to your body. And then when you're ready, circling in the opposite direction, continuing to inhale forward and exhaling back and around. And from this circling, you might start to move a little bit more in a cat and cow-like motion, inhaling to gently look up towards the moon above, exhaling to round through the spine and tuck the chin. You might grip the knees for support, and then inhaling to lift, lifting the heart, lifting the tailbone, exhaling, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone under. You might need to remove the support from beneath you. And flowing with breath. Slow movements, gently warming the spine. And the next time that you inhale to rise up, coming to a nice tall spine and bringing the soles of the feet to touch. Knees apart to a bound angle, Baddha Konasana position. Finding a comfortable stretch through the legs and then taking a deep breath in. On the exhale, a gentle hinge at the hips, just ever so slightly forward with the spine nice and tall and the core engaged. If you feel like it's too much of a stretch, you can back off a little bit and then deep breaths here. The option is there to stay in this nice tall core engaged position, especially if you have any discomfort in the low back or strain in the low back to do forward folds. But if forward folds feel nourishing for your body, you can begin to round forward. Again, if there's any strain or stress in the low back region, just coming back up to that tall position with the core engaged. Deep breaths here. Again, you might imagine yourself like an empty vessel, breathing in through the tailbone, up the length of the spine. Exhale, imagine the contents of your mind emptying out like a waterfall, pouring down into the earth. letting go and emptying out with each exhalation. One more breath here. And then slowly inhaling to rise up. And releasing the legs out to a nice long position. And you might even give the legs a little shake here, or the back of the thighs and calves a little thumping against the earth. And then we'll come to a supine position, bringing your head maybe onto a pillow or a folded blanket to come down to rest on the back of the body. And then we'll bring the legs into blissful baby position, just one at a time. So starting with the left leg, bringing the knee in towards the chest. And for some, it might be really easeful to bring the arm to the inside of the leg and grip the outside of the foot, or wrap the peace fingers around the big toe. And that might feel easily accessible. For some, you might not be able to quite reach your foot, in which case you can bring your hand to the ankle or your hands behind the knee. The knee comes out towards the outside of the underarm in this position, and the foot up towards the sky. For some people, this is nice right here with your right knee bent, and then for others, you might like to extend your right leg down the mat. Again, just noticing what feels best for your low back, and then taking a couple of deep breaths here. Relaxing the jaw and letting your body be heavy on the earth. Heavy head, heavy torso. One more breath. Good, and then releasing the leg, we might draw it up to the sky for a moment, and just bringing hands behind the leg to roll out the ankle a couple of times. Deep breath in and out through the nose. And then letting the sole of the left foot come down to rest on the earth. And we'll come over to the other side. This time bringing the arm to the inside of the right leg and reaching towards the outside of the right foot or to the big toe. Again, if that doesn't feel accessible, you might grab the outside of the ankle or behind the thigh, just supporting the leg in whatever way feels comfortable for you. In half blissful baby pose, and taking a few deep breaths here, you might close down through the eyes. Emptying out with each exhalation. Releasing into the density and the support of the ground with each exhalation. Let's do one more deep breath here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then as you release the leg, bring it up towards the sky and hands towards the back of the thigh to rotate the ankle slowly. A couple of deep breaths here. Good, and then releasing the right foot down towards the earth. And for this next position, you may or may not like to use the support of a bolster. I like to gently shift my hips over towards the right, just a couple of inches as I extend my right leg, and then slowly bring my left knee across. Right hand comes to the outside of the left knee, and then I simply turn my head as much as is comfortable towards the left side. Breathing deep breaths into the belly here in crocodile twist. And I'm also going to show what this looks like with a bolster. So if you're comfortable without the bolster, just continue to take some deep breaths here. And if you feel like you'd like the support of a bolster, just taking a moment now to grab your bolster and bring it alongside the right side of your body. Getting into the posture in a similar way. Right leg extends, left leg comes across, and this time it simply rests on the support of your bolster as you turn the head towards the left. You might explore stretching your left arm right out in a T-like position, stretching away from your body, palm facing the sky. And again, coming back to your breath here, closing down the eyes. The new moon is a time for slowing down and doing less. So you might consider, what can you do to support yourself during this time? And it might be taking some time to be at home, to rest. To restore your body and mind. Restoring the body and mind with quietude and deep rest. One more breath here. And then very slowly beginning to unwind. Unwinding the twist to bring the left foot down onto the earth, bending the right knee to place feet down firmly and lift the pelvis up to place it back down gently in a neutral position. And as we come to the other side, if you're using the bolster, you'll simply bring the bolster over to the left side before shifting your hips over just to the right slightly. So placing feet firmly on the ground, lifting the pelvis to shift it slightly over to the right side, extending the left leg long this time. As you bring the right knee across, left hand might come to rest on top of the outside of the knee, and then right arm might stretch out and away from you, palm facing the sky, and then simply relaxing the arm down onto the earth. Let your head turn towards that outstretched right arm, and then deep breaths here, closing down the eyes. Let your fingers soften. Let your forehead soften. Observing the peaceful rhythm of your breath. or two more deep breaths here. And then slowly unwinding, coming back to center, bending the left knee and placing feet firmly on the ground to lift the pelvis up and place it back down in neutral. And then coming over to the right side into a fetal position for just a breath or two before we transition to our restorative inversion. It's a very subtle inversion, and so if you feel like you don't really want to get up, you can also transition right into Shavasana with the bolster behind your knees. But if you could, with as little effort as possible, press down into the hands to rise up. It will be worth the extra effort to come into the inversion. I'm going to place my little pillow down at the other side so that I can bring the blocks into position. I'll put my eye mask over here too. And then stacking the blocks, I'm putting my block on the highest height and then the second highest height to bring the bolster up onto these blocks. And then I'm going to put my legs up onto here. So this is where the strap comes in to support the legs. So I'll just take a moment to loop my strap. And just looping the strap through. You could also use a scarf or something to tie around your legs, but I'm going to bring it above my knees onto my thighs, and then about hip distance apart, I'm just going to tighten this strap so that my legs feel nice and snug. And then when I bring my legs up onto the bolster, the legs can then relax completely. My toes can roll away from each other, and my legs are not going to fall off of the bolster here. So take a couple of moments to get completely comfortable in this position. You might bring an eye covering on top of the eyes. Notice if you need to make any little adjustments in the pelvis or legs to get completely comfortable and at ease. Notice if you need to adjust the pillow or support behind your head. And I like to place hands gently on my low belly and feel the rhythm of my breath here. Noticing the sensation of the inhale in the nostrils. Noticing the sensation of the exhale. Letting my whole body rest heavy. And you might let your whole body relax here. Subtle attention to the sensations throughout your whole body. Feeling the toes, soles of the feet, tops of the feet and ankles, the calves and the shins, the knees, the thighs and the whole pelvis, sacrum, low belly and low back. You might imagine all of the vital organs within the belly resting deeply now. Gently massaged by your peaceful breath. The chest and the shoulder blades, the lungs and the heart, the upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, palms and backs of the hands, all of the fingers, the thumbs, the front of the throat, back of the neck, the head and the whole skull resting heavy, the entire face, forehead, temples, eyes, nostrils, lips, teeth and gums, the whole muscle of the tongue, relaxing into the jaw. Deeply resting. You might imagine yourself like an empty container, an empty vessel. Momentarily suspending all of the thoughts of the mind, all of the responsibilities, just releasing. Nothing to do. Nowhere to go. Resting so deeply now. And with as little effort as possible, begin to slowly deepen your breath and begin to make small movements with the toes, the fingers. And you might take a little stretch with the arms up and overhead. And then if you're wearing an eye covering, keep your eyes closed as you gently remove the eye covering and then cover the eyes gently with the hands. And just giving a little bit of time for the eyes to adjust to any light beyond your eyelids. And then slowly coming to one side, you might bend your knees slowly first, and then rolling over into fetal position. And I am going to give you a couple of different options. So some of you might like to come into a savasana position next, to go into a little bit of a short new moon yoga Nidra experience. So I'll guide you into that position if you'd like to. But if not, thank you for joining me today. And if you'd like to join me for some more restorative yoga, you could subscribe to my channel, Restorative Yoga, Yoga Nidra, as well. And if you're interested in learning more or deepening, really deepening into the practice of restorative yoga, or even becoming a restorative yoga guide, I have a beautiful restorative yoga teacher training online called Moon to Moon Restorative Yoga Teacher Training. And this is such a beautiful experience. We enroll students each and every month around the new moon time. So if you're a new yoga teacher, or you're a very sincere seeker of your yoga practice, your yoga sadhana, you might consider checking that out and learning more details. It is an absolutely beautiful journey, self-paced through the moon cycles, and it's lifetime access. And there's a beautiful community that joins week to week to share in community and guide one another in beautiful experiences. So if you'd like to come down into Shavasana or Savasana, you can come down to rest, and I will put a couple of different options for a Yoga Nidra practice at the end here of this video. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you feel relaxed and content, and I hope that your nervous system feels calm and soothed. And you can let me know in the comments below how you feel, and let me know if you're here from one of our online teacher training programs. I would absolutely love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know how you're doing and how things are going on your journey. Thank you so much for being here today. Have the most wonderful rest of your evening or day. Happy new moon if you're joining me at the new moon time. and namaste.